Okay, so today's lesson is on space and depth. This is review for some of you, new to others. So reminder, space and depth is one of the elements of art. Elements of design. They changed the title a couple years ago. It's hard for me to get used to the changes. Okay, so what we're talking about here is this idea, especially as little kids draw. So if I was going to draw a farm, so you go like this. Here's the barn door, little hay loft. Oh, we got to have like a cow. Okay, bad cow drawing coming up. There, put little black spots on it. Looks like a cow. Oh, do cows have tails? I have no idea. Okay, some bales of hay. Got to have your fence. What else do we need? Oh, we need some grass. So this idea, when we start off, remember, the one thing is, when we're little kids, we're all artists. Like, they love to sing, they like to dance, they like to draw. And when we start drawing, we draw in 2-dimension, right? We draw flat. And we discussed this in the first unit when we talked about how to do forms instead of shapes. So this is kind of a continuation of that. So how do we get the illusion that some things are closer and some things are farther away? Because right now nothing is. They're all on the same plane. So the first thing we do is we take the barn, and we start to do things like this, right? And all of a sudden we're like, hey, this is closer, that's getting farther away, right? Same with the cow. Instead of the cow being flat this way, if we take the same cow and we go, where were the spots? There was one here. How do you make it look like a cow? Just put some black dots on it. Okay, now the cow is like, his face is closer and his butt is farther away. The bales of hay, you guys know that one. We can't have shapes, we need to have forms. So instead of squares, they need to be cubes. And our fence, right? How do you make the fence work? Well, we go like this. I'm going to make that fence go way back here and over here. And what else do we have? And the grass, right? So the grass is going to be like this up here. And then I'm not drawing all the grass in. And then it's going to end up just being something like that back there. So the whole point is that in the new picture that we have things that are closer and we have things that are farther away. So we're talking about techniques to create the illusion of depth. All right, so some of these you've done already. The shading is the obvious one that you knew that when you drew this, it was 2-dimensional. In order to make it 3-dimensional, you would go ahead and add some shading in so that we ended up with a sphere. And what you were doing is, once you shaded it, this part right here looks closer, and this part back in here wrapped underneath to be farther away. All right, other things that I did from this picture to this picture, overlapping is a big one. So instead of the fence being beside the barn, by going behind the barn is now overlapping the fence, really giving that idea of distance. Same thing if I go back to 2 circles and I put them here and here. Is this one farther away and this one closer, or are they beside each other? And the minute I go like this and have one overlapping the other one, now we can start to get that idea of things are in front and things are behind. All right, so what else happens in artwork to create that illusion? The other thing that's happening here is things are getting smaller as they go back in space. So objects appear to be smaller in the distance. Number 4, objects will appear to be less detailed. Again, remember, you can't stop at that. That doesn't say anything. Objects appear less detailed. You have to finish your thoughts. In the distance. Ah, that makes sense. Okay, so the idea of this blade of grass up here, we'll be able to see the individual blade. But when you look at things that are farther away in a field of grass, you can't see individual blades. You just see green. All right. Other things that happen is objects will appear lighter. And again, I'm going to be specific when they're farther away. Think of like a range of mountains, how they get lighter and lighter in the distance. One of the reasons for this is when you are looking with your eyeballs, it's my lashes here, when you're looking at something like a tree that's this far away, a tree that's that far away, or a tree that's far away, you just got to think of how many things are in the air between you and this first tree. Not so much, but by the time you get over here, there's so much more stuff in the air. So if you think about on a foggy day, there would be more water molecules, a lot more between here to here than here to here. So that's one of the reasons for this. We need to qualify this even more though. Objects appear lighter farther away in the daytime, because that is not what happens at night. It's the opposite. All right. Because obviously the things closer to you are better lit, and as things get farther away, they're going to get darker. Okay, number 6 is the position. So where you draw things on a page will also help determine whether it looks closer or far. So I'm going to take that tree, and when you stick things down here in the lower part of the page, they appear to be closer. So that part of a piece of artwork is called the foreground, F-O-R-E, and that makes things look closer. And